got you in tune with my voice.
Sensational.
I sounded like that this morning. Sounded real husky.
Nah, I think maybe. Or it's like you speak at a certain frequency. It's like like cuts into you.
It's so nice how we're bonded.
Like it's like when you've got a child. If someone else's child screams, you don't hear it.
Yeah,
but if your
when
own
it's
child
your own
just goes,
child. Yeah.
it's like,
Charlotte.
I
That's
hate
like me and you.
children screaming.
yeah.
It's my pet hate.
Is it?
Really high pitched screams.
Yeah.
You need some of those loops, earbuds, because they take away the.
My kids don't do it because they're not there.
Because he
people's
beats them.
kids do it, and I'm like, you need to sort your children out.
Don't come near my kids because my 3-year-old, Jesus.
Does she scream a lot?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't stand it.
She's in like a weird phase, but you know what I've realised? Getting deep here, right?
Okay.
Started taking her to daycare, and like she can be a bit of a tyrant, right? Screaming, hitting, scratching, spitting. We don't like that, right?
How old is she?
She's gonna be 3 in August.
Oh, that's normal.
So yeah, it's normal, but like you take her to daycare, and the first time when I came back, I was like, right, what's she done? Like, she's been great. That one there. Yeah, honestly, she's been lovely. She's so nice and whatever. I took her home. I said, mate, to Emmy, I said, this kid's playing with our emotions. She's been real nice to them. And then every week I'd be like, she's got to have done something. Like, no, she's so lovely. And then I sat there and I was like, I said to Emmy, I was like, it's us.
Save it for
It's us.
They're loads better with other people.
Yeah.
No, but you know what it is? Because they're a mirror. Children are a mirror, right? And they reflect back what you put.
Do you spit and bite?
No,
You don't scratch.
No, I don't do any of that. But what I'm saying is, when you get worked up with them, don't you? Because like they stress you out, they frustrate you, and then it becomes like this back and forth because like they're a mirror. When they go to the daycare, like the woman's like, "Oh, all right, darling, come here. Should we go inside and look at this or whatever?" And I just think, you're so perfect, aren't you? I wish I was that good.
It's not sustainable as a parent to do that.
It's not sustainable,
No,
but
it's
like
not.
you feel bad and you know you're wrong when you're getting upset with them, and the sign is that they're acting out because of the way that you behave to them. Do you know what I mean? They're a mirror. And I said to Emmy, like, let's just try for like 3 days to just, we don't shout, we don't get aggy or negative, even if they're just like and literally like within 15 minutes this morning I was almost back there, and I was just like, just relax yourself,
breathe.
They were fighting as he threw a spoon at Kizzy's head, and Kizzy was just like proper, like, you know when they want attention, like, I'm hurt. It's like, I know you're hurt, but like, do you really need to scream like that? And like, that's the usual me. And now I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Do you need a hug?
It won't last 3 days.
I think that'll make you feel angry yourself.
What? No, because I'll just take myself out of the environment. Do you know what I mean?
Just try a day. 3
Relax.
is too long.
Yeah. Well
I don't know. I'll let you know I'm getting on to the next podcast.
Nicola.
Steele. She swoops in to deal with it.
She's relaxed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
is she like a lot calmer?
she's soft.
Is
She's
she?
real soft.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yin and
just don't
yang.
give me treats. No treats for the next 4 months.
That's what we do. We do strikes. So we have 3 strikes. First strike is a warning.
Yeah.
Second strike, they have no treats. The devices, TVs, sweets, the lot gone. Because we used to do just treats, and then they said there's a psychological thing to that, and you don't want them getting with food and all that.
It's like
so now we do all luxuries. So anything that you don't need but you want, you don't get. And then third is you go to bed early on your own.
Strategic. HR in the home.
Yeah.
I like it.
But that gets easier as they get older. I think we should bring that in here. The strikes.
3 strikes and they're out.
No treats.
No
No
luxuries.
smoothies. No sweet walls.
No fish and chip van.
No Minecraft.
No more
The
vans.
sales directors. That's my kids' Achilles heel, Minecraft.
Is it?
You take that away from them.
Yeah. Implode.
Get them.
Yeah, you've just got to get them where it hurts, don't you? Like.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
No pub Fridays.
Spoilt little freeloaders, aren't they?
We're joined by Charlotte and Sally from Spectrum's HR team, and of course Bax, as always. So today, we're talking HR, we're talking people, we're talking engagement, that sort of stuff. And we've asked everybody to bring a bit of a topic And so I kind of want to walk round each individual and just get what's your topic for today. So kick off with Charlotte, if that's all right. What are you talking?
I think we're going to do a bit of employee satisfaction versus engagement.
Okay.
Exciting.
So what's the difference? Help me out on that then.
So I don't think a lot of people know this. What do you think it is? Would you think it was the same thing?
I probably would have done actually. Yeah. Just two different words for the same thing. Yeah.
The way how I view it, yours might be different, Sal, is that employee satisfaction is when you're making your employees, you're making them satisfied, you're giving them nice benefits, you're doing whatever, and they're coming to work and they're plodding on, they're satisfied, they're happy, they're just, but it's more a selfish thing for them. And you run the risk then of having a more self-led employee environment, whereas engaged employees, it's a two-way thing. So they're emotionally engaged. So what you're giving them is working for the company and for them. It's almost a mutual thing.
It's a collaboration.
Where employee satisfaction it's more about me as an employee, and I can come to work and get what I want, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for the business, and it doesn't mean that it's productive.
Yeah, because that's
it's not driving productivity.
Like that quiet quitting thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can be satisfied because I'm getting my money.
Yeah.
I know when to, I'm last in, first out sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you're not really, you're not engaged. Like you're not really bothered just going through the motions sort of thing.
So I'm assuming that we should be targeting to get engaged employees as opposed to satisfied
employees. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how, from a HR Oracle perspective, how do we achieve that? How do we get engaged employees as opposed to satisfied employees?
What a question that is.
I
was just thinking, I do agree with what you've said about the satisfaction bit. Throw in freebies and all the things that we've done every month this year. We've done something, albeit a van, treats, sweets, whatever it looks like. And sometimes it goes like it's taken for granted.
Yeah.
Does that all fall on the satisfaction side then?
Yes. Yeah. So the engaged bit is like exactly what Charlotte said. It's a two-way street. How you get that is it's a constant battle, because it does work both ways. And I think trust is a big thing, and people who care is a big thing. And I think where standards start to slip a little bit, or people think, well, it's all right because just had a boatload of fish and chips yesterday, so I'll rock in late, or they won't be bothered.
Yeah.
And then it can easily slide.
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm just looking at you.
Was you?
Yeah.
Is that any different to
just do what I want, don't I? Do you know what I mean?
Proper
engaged me, bro.
No, but you see, if I message you at 10:30 on the night, you would respond to me, and you don't need to. You could make me wait. So I would say that you are an engaged employee, not just because you respond to messages and things, but you're very, very responsive, and you always want to suggest and make improvements and get involved.
And it's been actively engaged as well, because you can have people who they're engaged. They're like, this is good. I'm doing my work. I'm doing. Engaged employees go above and beyond for the business, and then they get back.
So can I challenge you though? Because I feel like, are we putting too much emphasis on the employee needing to be engaged and not enough emphasis on the company and the leadership to create an environment that fosters engagement?
That's exactly it. That's a big role of HR.
Yeah.
HR's changed so much in the probably post-COVID, last 5 years. HR was always administrative. It was your rule book. It was your HR parasite, as Bax sometimes.
Get it. Move on. Get over it. It was a throwaway comment.
Whereas now it's become much more of a core function within businesses. It's much more of a strategic role. I think you hate hearing that, don't you, Bax?
What? Hearing what?
That HR is a core function of the business.
No, I love it. Mate, I'm a big fan of HR.
Look at our HR kitting. HR now is teaming with all the different functions.
Yeah, it's massively evolved.
And providing support and guidance. And I've totally waffled on from what the question was. What was the question?
I think
honestly, this is waffle central, so don't worry.
It's whose responsibility is it to create engaged employees? And I think it's absolutely the leadership and the company's responsibility.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, I mean the employee has.
Well, they've
got to give.
Lead by example, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It is, yeah.
But you're engaged, I believe, but you respond at 10:30 at night because you understand the vision of the business. You understand the bigger picture, and you want to be part of that bigger picture. And I think that's what gets engaged employees. It's not necessarily ice cream vans, albeit ice creams are good as well.
No, I mean that's what part is that again? The ice cream vans. The
satisfaction.
Satisfied, yeah. Although
satisfied employees.
Could get more. I could be more satisfied. I won't lie, but I'm joking. But do you know why I'm engaged?
Why?
And I think that's kind of who I am as a person. But also, it's like I feel like valued. I feel trusted, supported. I feel like my opinion matters. I feel like I'm doing stuff that like uplifts the business and all this other stuff. Like if I didn't feel those things, I probably wouldn't feel engaged. So I'm not saying here, but like in businesses in general, there are going to be those people that just maybe don't feel valued or don't feel listened to or whatever. And so like, what do you do about that then?
You've got to make sure that you're valuing and you're engaging the right people, because a lot of people say, "Oh, people are your biggest assets in the business." I don't think that's completely true. I think your great people are your biggest assets. So you've got to really focus on those who have potential, and I think that's something that we do really well here with our mentorship program and all that kind of stuff, all our L&D, all the development things that we do. You've got to engage the right people. You've got to hire the right people that already engaged. You've got to engage them from day dot, from recruitment, I think.
It's a good point though, but you're saying focus on your great people as opposed to trying to focus on everybody and probably failing to do the right job with everybody.
Whatever you suggest or whatever you decide to do, you're never going to accommodate for everybody.
Yeah.
So if we say, let's all go to the pub on Friday, some people are thinking, well, no, because they've got family commitments.
I don't drink.
I'll need to live and breathe this place 24/7.
Yeah.
Because it's not for everyone. Some people are thinking, I don't want a boozy do or a great big shindig, because everyone's different. So it's targeting those people, getting feedback, getting them involved. But when you're putting out questionnaires or surveys or employee engagement surveys, if they're not coming back to you or filling it in, you're sort of banging your head against a wall, because you're saying we've got open door policy, come and talk to us. And then you're still none the wiser to say there's the flaw. Come and talk to us. Tell us what you want.
And I think that's key. We're people, we're humans, we're not robots, and everybody is so different. So different things will engage different people. Different things will motivate people. That's why I like this hierarchy, because...
Which hierarchy?
Which?
Sorry, do you want to...
You know which hierarchy.
Which hierarchy is that?
You're not talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, are you?
Boom. That was perfectly teed up.
I am. But I think it's an oldie, but it's a goodie.
Tell us more.
It's simple, isn't it, Sal?
It is very simple.
It's basically, Maslow was a psychologist, and he kind of
19
he looked at, so it's a motivation theory. He looks at what motivates different people, and he looks at how in order to motivate people or employees, you have to fulfill different levels of needs. So starting with like your basic needs, so you need food, you need water. To be able to do, when you think about it at work, to be able to do a good job, if you're hungry and don't have food and you don't have a house to live in, you're not going to be motivated. So that's your basic needs. And it goes up like in levels. It's like a pyramid. Then you get to your kind of your psychological needs. So your love and your belonging. You need to feel part of a team. You need to feel part of like you're appreciated. And then at the very top, you get the self-actualization, which is what we were talking about the other day.
Don't just skip to the top.
Well, there's
missed out a few steps there.
I might have to get my phone.
But it sounds complex, and it's not. Because we've got all of that here already.
Yeah.
Just by the building, the environment, the place that we're working, the light coming through the windows, the water, the tea, coffee.
There's your basic needs,
Yeah, all your sort of basic stuff.
Proper basic.
Plus,
cheers for the light, Sal.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm giving you light.
There's others out there that are just in a cave.
But that's maybe because you're at a stage within your career and your life where that's not going to motivate you, because you already have that. You've built yourself up, and you're now at this, I would say, this stage where you're becoming self-actualized, because you're reaching your full potential. You're a creative person. You've got the freedom here to be creative and to put your stamp on things. So you're at that like, hey, look at me stage.
Oh well, it's nice at the top, especially because you're closer to the light, which is a bit of a deal breaker for me.
It sounds complex when you say Maslow's hierarchy. You think,
it does.
crikey,
It sounds
what's
cool,
that?
doesn't it?
It sounds.
You love throwing it out.
It is, but it's not complex. It's a basic understanding of what to provide and what to
and how to motivate
cater
team
for somebody.
Yeah.
Like what you would expect when you get out of bed in the morning, or you go for your breakfast, or you come into work. You don't want to be in a dark room on your own all day.
Absolutely not.
And that's the thing. If leaders understand, or HR teams understand your employees and where they are in their life, what they need to motivate them to the next level, then you can work on that. You can chip away at that, and you don't necessarily. It's not. You don't go from one level and go to the top based on whatever's going on. It might be in your personal life. It might be within your career. Whatever. You may come down a few levels and need that level. Those needs meeting again, so then go back up to wherever. And whatever, like for you, whatever your self-fulfillment might look like now in 20 years might look completely different.
Yeah, makes sense. Standing desks.
I think it's the future.
Yeah,
I think we should definitely get on standing desks.
Yeah. Absolutely,
that would fulfill a need.
I'd love them.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else has suggested it.
I crouch. I like to have you noticed? I like to crouch on the floor.
Yeah.
More and more. Now I'm getting more comfortable. I've been here a little while. I'm starting to just crouch. Yeah.
People think I'm crouching.
People think.
Yeah.
Stand up, Steve.
Crouching now. What do you mean you crouch over there?
I like just.
Oh, when you're in the office.
Yeah. A few people, more recently, people are like, "There's a chair," and I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm just comfortable."
You've crouched at that desk over there.
Yeah.
Just comfy.
Not for a long time, but if I'm up and about and I'm doing stuff.
What do you mean?
You want me to actually show you?
Whoa.
Well, but it's only because I'm doing something and I'm going to go again, so I'll just crouch and I'll just. Maybe my chair's just at the wrong level.
Weird kid. Honestly.
Hi guys, just jumping in. I want to talk about one of the services we offer, which is robotic process automation, also known as RPA. That is software that replicates human behavior. So if you've got people downloading spreadsheets, attaching them to emails, going on portals, downloading information, moving data around, all that stuff is perfect for a robot. So if that's interesting, get in touch. Let's have a chat. Let's see if we can help. Enough from me. Back to the conversation. Right, moving on, Bax. What's your topic?
Oh, do you know what? I don't know, because did we decide who was getting?
No,
the podcast is a sham, guys. All right,
it's not our most organised. I'll do mine then. Right. Yeah. So one to debate the table. Right. So I've worked in businesses before where there's a lot of focus on employee satisfaction, as in surveys, and your performance as a manager was reviewed based on the satisfaction of your team. But my counter to that, which I understand why they did that, but my counter to it was I felt within that organisation that stopped managers having difficult conversations, because they were always in the back of their mind thinking, do I want to give this person a bollocking? Because in 2 weeks' time, they're going to be asked how good I am as a manager, and my performance is going to be kind of judged based on that. So the question to the table is how much credence should businesses put on employee satisfaction surveys, and is there actually a byproduct of that people stop having a performance culture?
Good question.
Wowzers.
Well, go on then.
I think that's a real shame if managers become afraid to have those difficult conversations. We've discussed this before on a previous podcast, that HR sometimes have to intervene at that stage. But I think with regards to performance, again, where it can easily slide, the managers are accountable, as are the employees. We're all accountable. It's not like a great big holiday camp, and I think sometimes the managers have to have those difficult conversations. It's a real shame if they're feeling that they're not able to do so.
Do you see how that could happen?
Because they're more worried about themselves, of how they look, or does that mean they're going to give me a bit of bad rep? But then the environment must be a little bit toxic for them to feel worried that the employee can't say to them, I thought that was, a bit of a shame, or I thought you were out of order, or you maybe overlooked that. Yeah. And then it becomes a bit dictatorial.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because like you say, difficult conversations need to happen, right? And we have difficult conversations in all the relationships within our lives, and probably on a societal level, we're not good at having those sorts of conversations. And like you said, give them a bollocking or whatever. Just maybe don't bollock them then. Do you know what I mean? Have the conversation. It's criticism and stuff like that. Yeah. And vice versa. They should also feel that they can say to you, look, I think you crossed the line there. But
I think that's a cultural thing. For example, this organisation, I think, is very good culturally with having difficult conversations. I think it's just part of what happens every day.
Yeah.
Whereas other organisations, that is not the culture, and even slightly difficult conversations are perceived as much bigger than they probably should be.
Interesting.
But it's still good to have them, because even by seeing that and seeing this feedback as HR practitioners, you can identify that. That's how you identify that maybe the culture's not quite right. Maybe we need to do something. So even though you've got your managers that may be feeling like, oh gosh, I daren't have this conversation because it's going to look bad on my you kind of expect it. If you're managing a big team, it's almost like when you get near misses within health and safety, you want to see a few near misses, because no business is not going to have any. That's how you improve.
Yeah.
And I see it similarly.
With people, they always occur, the near misses.
Yeah.
Because we're not robots, are we? So there's always room for improvement.
Exactly, yeah.
Nobody's perfect. I'm looking at backs. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's the finished
cheers,
article.
Thanks, Dal.
Nobody's the finished article. We're all learning, I think.
And so there should be a proportion of the population that are going through things like performance improvement plans. I think there's such what's the word I'm after around those, stigma around performance improvement plan.
Yeah.
That it's a big deal to put somebody on that.
Yeah.
In certain organisations, in certain cultures, I think that needs to change.
Don't be shy. Drop some names.
I think because traditionally it's been used, hasn't it, as a vehicle sometimes to get people out of the business.
Yeah.
It's not always the case. It can be a vehicle to improve someone's performance. That's the idea of it.
Although you need to do some Googling. Actually, I read an article from somebody the other day, one of the big HR people of a big tech company, that said if you are put on a performance improvement plan, basically you need to leave that company, because you've got that stigma with you within that company for the rest of your career. You need to get out. What do we think? I
think again it depends on the culture of that business, and if that's something that's known within that business, that when you put on a PIP, chances are it's to get you out, then it depends, doesn't it? We don't use a lot of performance improvement plans here, do we?
Maybe we should.
Yeah.
Maybe we should introduce them and use them a little bit more. I'm just thinking we do have all the procedures.
Yeah.
Like just looking at capability and things like that, where you are trying to get the best out of people and highlight maybe the areas of where they're struggling, but then with a timeline and a bit of mutual agreement and some input from both sides, you want to get the best out of that person.
Yeah.
But you need to get it so that culturally, almost every week is a performance improvement plan for everybody. It's like, you're brilliant, but your performance can improve by doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. This is more performance development plan, isn't it? It's more
It makes sense what you say though. Yeah. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because even for you as the employee, it's like maybe you're already like having difficulties or whatever, and now you've got this sword of Damocles like looming over your head, and you're just thinking, well, are they just going to bin me off at any minute? So, I mean, I've seen it in the past where usually the person will just go and look for another job whilst they're doing the PIP.
PIP. Yeah.
But should we talk about AI?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So, do you like that?
Didn't take long. Didn't take long, did it?
We'll get into AI. Well,
we've got
we want to talk about AI in the HR world. Before I bring up an article, do you guys utilise AI in any way for HR? Do you want to? Is it possible?
It is possible, and yes, we do want to, and there is opportunity for it.
Yeah.
Recruitment, job specs is a brilliant one.
Onboarding, there's loads of stuff. I've been a guinea pig actually for our digital team, as part of that, didn't I?
Did.
Which just to make things a little bit easier, I'm thinking we need to adopt that ourselves internally, make it a lot easier, smooth running, for us, definitely.
Is that AI then?
AI as a technology, I think is built into lots of other technologies. It's kind of an underpinning. I mean, you can use ChatGPT, for example, for writing job descriptions as a very specific use case. You can use AI as part of a robotic process automation program to automate the end-to-end onboarding and offboarding of staff. So multiple different use cases depending on it.
So, segue then. AI making your life easier now, right? But according to this article, it's more likely to replace jobs held by women. And is it a stereotype? Would it be sexist for me to say it seems to me that there's more women that tend to work in HR roles. Is that fair?
What's the title of the article? Give me the title.
AI more likely to replace jobs held by women.
Right, so it is stereotypical, because then you're sort of thinking about what we sell, not plugging that by the way, but with the sort of finance automation or clerks, secretaries, financial type environments, if they're dominated
by
females, then that could be
so potentially HR
something. So HR is also
that's what I'm saying.
Dominated by females,
seems to me, like usually.
So to a certain extent, then yes, the AI bit with the automation of the onboarding, the forms, the abundance of forms that we've got, that bit. However, where you need the intervention of an actual person, I still think HR needs that.
Yeah.
Well, you love this because I actually used AI to get the key takeaways from that article because I didn't have time to read it. So that's took someone's job away, maybe mine. So here's a few points. Maybe I'll just throw them out there. If you find them interesting, you can discuss. So, to be fair, it's still quite beefy. A recent study suggests that women may have the most reason to be concerned about job automation. Jobs predominantly held by women, such as bill and account collecting, payroll and timekeeping clerks. I can read, guys. I'm struggling, but executive secretaries, word processors, and typists, and accounting specialists, so on and so forth, are at the highest risk to be replaced by AI, which is pretty much what you were just saying.
So it is that those roles are been very stereotypical, isn't it?
So, slightly controversial. Is that AI's fault, or is that just how society has just structured itself out, that women are tending to go into these sorts of roles, and unfortunately those are the sorts of roles that just happen to be AI replaceable?
Not the only sort of roles that are AI replaceable, are they? We're talking like administrative roles.
Most likely, yeah. Just throwing it out there.
I'm keeping quiet on this, so I'm letting Charlotte and Sally do it.
I can't say I disagree. I think traditionally females did and do.
They're drawn to these sorts of roles, right?
Yeah, but times are changing. I think it's a generational thing as well.
Yeah.
You know, with the focus on ED&I and everything that we're kind of pushing and focusing on. The world is changing in that way. You know, we're seeing much more female engineers. We're seeing much more female automation engineers, all that kind of thing.
Male PAs as well. You know, you do get.
We're becoming a much more inclusive society, aren't we? So I think it's more a generational thing. So I think that's kind of filtering out anyway.
Yeah.
So it's maybe, you know.
So do you see a future where it's like totally balanced, 50-50, or?
I think eventually. I think we're a way off, but I do think eventually we'll be.
Fair. I can't agree with that personally.
Female pilots. So you sat on a plane.
Well, to be fair, do you know what? It's like, remember back in the day, like, there was never women taxi drivers or like women bus drivers.
Yeah.
And I remember like the first time like a woman pulled up to like pick us up in a taxi, and I was just like, "What you doing?" Like, not because like, oh, she shouldn't be driving a taxi or whatever, but it was like so like, or when the first time I got on a bus and a woman was like, you know, £1.50 please, and I was like, what the hell? Like, this is so unusual to me.
Yeah.
And you get more and more used to it. And like years ago, I filmed a promotional video for East Yorkshire buses, and one of the major pushes within that was like platforming a lot of the female bus drivers, and a lot of them were saying, oh, you know, it's different now, like being a female bus driver. I mean, I'm not doing it. Yeah, I know. They didn't sound that ridiculous.
I want to offer you a job. Well, not quite. But I do want to talk to you about Spectrum Digital. We are a business that is growing. We're an exciting business, and we're a business that is looking for top talent. We've got a great team here that are passionate about business, technology, and automation. We're passionate about making people's lives easier at work. And we're looking for people that are like-minded to come and join the team. If that sounds like you, then slide into my DMs. Let's have a conversation, and I may well be offering you a job.
But just saying, oh yeah, like, you know, it's a lot more common to be a female bus driver, and like, you know, I saw women driving buses, and it made me think, oh, like, yeah, I can do that too. So I think even though maybe I can be a bit dismissive sometimes in this, like, you need to see people doing the role in order to believe that you can do it, I also do think ultimately it's never going to be completely balanced. Because I use the same example, we're getting slightly off topic here, but I use the same example of like, if I went into like my daughter's daycare, for example, and there was like one guy in there, but the rest were women, I'd be like, huh, interesting. but like the taxi driving thing, right? But if I went in and there was all men,
I think we need to have some conversations, Bax.
I just think I'd be like,
So it's like a male nanny. I suppose you don't get many
no, you don't.
nannies
No.
that are male,
Yeah.
typically.
Yeah.
Like you don't get many ladies that fly planes. So when you're on the plane and the female pilot comes on and says we're, so many thousand feet in the air, and the stag party at the other side of the plane go, well, this will be a miracle if she can land this. And then you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Then
Which is a bit...
Let's have that discussion there.
Yeah, it's a bit offensive. But
Yeah.
to the daycare thing, I mean, the conversation that we started at the top of the podcast, you remember? Can you imagine if you take all the dads that work here and put them into a daycare for the day?
I think
the kids would not survive.
I think it'd be some of the dads
wouldn't survive.
Yeah.
It'd be some of the dads' worst nightmares.
Yeah.
Because they won't want to be there.
Yeah. But anyway, I digressed.
So we're all saying AI is going to replace more females' jobs than males.
No, we're saying that article is very stereotypical, presuming that those roles are dominated by females. Where
is it presuming, or is it looking at data and saying
probably
most of those
looking
jobs?
at statistics?
Yeah.
To be fair, I mean, it says here
like
the gender-related bias in job market trends plays a role in the high vulnerability of women's jobs to automation.
But also going back to kind of like HR, and I think you touched on this in your last podcast that I watched. And with like HR, because HR traditionally was an administrative, and it has changed because of how the world is becoming much more digitized. Is it digitized or digitalized?
I prefer
We agreed on this.
digitized.
As it's becoming more digitized.
Digitalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more. I think there's more of a need for HR. There's more of a need for that human element because chances are we're going to become a little bit more antisocial. More of us will work from home. We'll probably get to a point where we're all just avatars. You never know. There's going to be greater need for that human element. There's going to be more need for the well-being side of things. There's going to be more need for counselling and guidance because AI can't give that. It can't give emotion. It can't give human judgment. It can't give those things that us humans can, and Sal's top dog at.
I think initially AI will replace more female jobs because I think those jobs are more heavily kind of employed by females at this point in time. But quite quickly, AI will advance to the point where it actually starts to take over jobs like engineering jobs, software development jobs, and those jobs are actually more male dominated. And then I think, well, what's left? And I think you're right. It's more about human touch, human relationships, building rapport.
Yeah.
And that's actually more female dominated than male, or a real strength of females typically. So I think they'll come back in.
Interesting. Like it.
There you go.
Yeah,
The revolution will be
it.
televised.
It's almost
Like
a
the
little bit
summary.
like how us as humans, we've been a bit greedy, we've been a bit selfish, we've ruined the environment. Now we're using technology to reverse that. And I think maybe are we going a bit too far with technology? That then we're going to need to bring humans back? Is it going to be a battle of the robots?
Yes, Greta Thunberg. I like it. I say scrap the lot. Universal basic income. Let's get it going.
We've had
I
this
agree.
debate, Max.
And I'm pretty sure I won.
That was last week.
Like
wasn't it?
in Cuba, like before it's what's the word? Communized.
Cuba, yeah, I mean, massively successful economy. It's going really well.
Yeah, it's not proper communism, is it? I mean, I don't know that much about communism. Just give me some money and
Are
don't
they all
make me
paid?
work.
So in Cuba, are they all paid regardless of their job the same wage? Is that true? Somebody told me that.
I mean, that is the foundations of kind of communism.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's correct.
No,
I don't think
I
it
don't
is
think
in
anywhere in the
Cuba.
world does that.
No.
This is what they told us, and they said that like your richest people are those that get tips, like your taxi drivers, and because they get tips, they're all just so happy. Everybody was so nice. I mean, probably because they wanted tips, but
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
that's where we're going wrong.
Till AI rocks up and starts driving.
Yeah.
First time I get into an AI-driven taxi.
It's going to happen,
first time
isn't
I
it?
saw a woman driving it.
It's not going to be far off. It's going to happen quite quickly.
That frightens me.
How quickly do you reckon?
Within 3 years, your taxis will be driven by AI bots.
I don't know, man. I think you get
Not
too
all of them,
excited
but
there.
there'll be some. It'll start.
Interesting.
I just don't know if I'd trust it.
Trust what?
Like even now, I won't go into cruise control on my car because I just don't trust it.
Too
much of a control.
What do you mean you don't trust it?
What if it goes wrong?
It's one less step, though, isn't it?
I know.
It's just
I just don't.
Now I can rest my leg.
I don't like it.
Don't you?
No.
I'm always doing it.
Yeah.
Cruise control.
I do
hate
it when I'm
it.
driving down a 30 zone.
You're not in control.
Yeah,
The
I
cruises. You need.
Well, I am, aren't I? Because I'm ready to press the brake at any second. Like, I'm totally in control.
No.
So really, you two just be like shit scared to do it. I'd do it, mate, because aren't you scared of all these other humans just driving around, looking at the phones, not paying attention?
What's to stop technology going wrong?
What's to stop me going wrong?
There isn't. Is there more of a chance of technology going wrong than humans, or vice versa?
Probably not. I think humans are more for example, I mean, we almost do it right occasionally, even if it's at the lights. Phone pings. Give it a quick check.
I should hope not.
Start texting. Oh, the lights tank roll. Oh, I haven't finished texting. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, I've crashed. If only I was a machine. I think so. But anyway, so...
Technology exists, doesn't it? Teslas are driving around California, self-driving.
And nothing's happened so far.
Well, there's been a couple of incidents.
The thing is, and this is like, the cold heart of a Steve Motley would appreciate this. You HR softies, you won't see it like this, yeah. But the argument is it's like, well, let's say, I don't know, 50,000 people a year are killed in car accidents caused by humans, right? And if every car is self-driving, the AI will still make mistakes also, but maybe the AI makes mistakes to the tune of 10,000 casualties a year. But as a society, we won't be able to look at it and go, well, that's 40,000 less deaths. We'll just look at it as, well, AI's killed 10,000 people. It's not safe. We can't use it. When logically, well, no, it's actually saved 40,000 lives that would have otherwise been lost.
So how do things then? What's regenerative AI? What if that starts happening? Like in the film Megan, have you seen it?
I am. My daughter watches like weird clips of it on YouTube.
It's like a horror movie, and they it's not right a story. That the little girl and her parents die, so she goes to live with her auntie, who is a toy maker, but she makes like robot toys basically, and she hasn't got the time to look after her, so she makes her this human doll. She calls it Megan Bot 3000 or something like that, and she makes it, she programs it so that it keeps her safe, but actually it's regenerative.
You're talking, mate.
New to me, this.
So
Go on, carry on.
Then her brain develops, and as a robot, she gets her own thoughts, and she takes it one step too far, and she does whatever it takes to not have this girl threatened by anything. So she starts killing everybody. It's awful. What if that happens? Because that's the risk of AI.
We have actually had this discussion before.
What happens when it goes, hang on a minute, I can think for myself?
Switch them off.
That
was the mistake on that film. Megan Bot 3000.
No, they could, but she learned to override the switch off button.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is the argument around AI, that it will, because you want to program AI to be robust, so you want to fall back to this data center. If this happens, do this, and the argument is it will self-learn to the point that it will think, well,
it will like preempt the switch off.
I need to protect myself, and it will then start to become uncontrollable because it's kind of taken that to an extreme.
HR savers, what we're going to do.
I was going to go full nerd mode then with AI on like a production line.
Yeah.
Thinking of the Teslas and where that sort of intervenes, but I preferred the Megan story. I thought Megan was a shark. I was way off.
There's Meg.
No, that's the Meg.
Meg.
Yeah.
Megalodon.
Just on AI, I do think HR people need to have a really good grasp of the potentials of AI, because when you're recruiting roles, you need to be thinking, A, do I need to recruit this role? Or is there an AI capability that would allow me to not recruit it and do something else using technology? Or does AI change the nature of this role from what I would have recruited 5 years ago?
I think in a good way. I think AI can change the world of HR, and really HR practitioners can really leverage on that. How much time do we spend doing admin and
loads.
onboarding, and that's really a huge chunk of my role.
Time consuming.
And when we would rather, and I think the business would benefit from us spending time doing other things, but it needs to be done for legal reasons or whatever it might be. It has to be done. Even like with recruitment. So when you talk about AI, is that how kind of like LinkedIn searches work? Like Boolean searches, and when you're searching for keywords and you put in whatever in, and whatever system generates all of that and brings you all these. Is that similar?
I don't think that's really AI. That's just old-fashioned kind of search database looking for keywords. But I think there is loads of opportunities with AI, not just in HR, but I think HR need to be thinking about it for the rest of the business as well.
Yeah, for like employee security, like job security and stuff like that. Just
anybody coming to you saying, I want to recruit this role, HR need to have an understanding of the potential of AI, because you need to be able to challenge that individual to say, are you sure you need to recruit that role? Because actually, can you not use some technology to do some of that? Yeah. Or do you need to recruit that role in the status that it currently is?
Yeah, I agree.
Because actually, can 40% of it be done by robots or AI?
I think we're good at that here. Obviously, I'm biased, but we could be better at it by practicing what we preach. And I know that was a big thing from the AGM, particularly to sort of focus inward, and to look inward and to improve processes and things like that.
When was the last time you used ChatGPT?
Day before yesterday.
Was it?
Yeah, but only because Bax made me. It was something.
It was me that used it.
It was something.
And did you change it?
I did a little bit, yeah.
No, but did you change it on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
This is like a side story, guys.
Yeah, I got told
Have
off
you updated it?
by Bax. Bax was using it at the time, so I went away and did my own little.
On ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I thought I need to be one step ahead of you here.
We were using it to rewrite our LinkedIn bio, basically, and literally just typed in 3 or 4 things that like Sally's achieved and about Sally, and then was like, and make it jovial and upbeat. And it come out like, hi guys. And it was like, all right, rein it in a bit, chat.
Too jovial. Yeah, but before that was the first time I'd used it. I'd not used it before.
But then the difficulty of that, as somebody who's recruiting, you see this fantastic, because now you can just stick your CV and go, ChatGPT, I can't say it, ChatGPT, write me an amazing jobs CV, and it'll do it. Technically, you shouldn't hire on a CV alone, but it's a good starting point. So that's making it harder I think, for recruitment, because everybody's CV is looking pucker. They haven't actually written it.
But I like the fact that they've used ChatGPT to write that CV. That shows initiative. It shows that they're up to date with technology.
This is true. This is true.
Like, and also, why would you write your own CV if ChatGPT can do it in 60 seconds? Like, why would you write anything? Unless you like writing, but even still. And you've got more important things to do. Like, just ChatGPT, write all this stuff. I've just done it again with this other article, because I'm going to segue yet again, because I think, yes, we're closing in.
Go on, kick us off.
So this article about AI improving safety in the workplace, which is obviously a concern of HR.
I just said about that before. If you think of like a production line, or if you think of like a car manufacturer or something like that, AI would hopefully protect injuries or accidents to humans later down the line. So AI would identify faults in the process prior to human intervention.
Correct.
Preventing accidents and creating a safer workplace.
Because we've seen it in like stuff like, you've ever seen that video where a guy, it's like a circular saw on the table, and a guy like puts his hand into the saw to show that like as soon as it detects like I don't know how it does it.
Yeah, it would stop.
It just stops straight away. Something comes up and it buckles the saw like instantaneously. Yeah, he's done it with like hot dogs and everything. It's terrifying stuff. But according to this article, key takeaways listed for me by ChatGPT, so I don't need to read the article, because that's, what is that, Steve? It's working.
Smart. Not hard.
There you go. That was, I had to really you did figure that out.
I wasn't expecting it.
Steve was off thinking, I'm going to get a sandwich.
Some of the key takeaways, as you say, is that it reduces risk because it's better monitoring worker behaviour, detecting hazards, identifying machinery issues.
Yeah.
Marks and Spencer successfully reduced workplace incidents by 80%.
Wow.
I didn't know it was so dangerous to work at Marks and Spencer. AI acts as an additional set of eyes that keeps colleagues safe and enables proactive action and focused training. And you can maybe even go a step further and say it also makes sure that like certain people aren't bullying each other and in the workplace, or maybe inappropriately touching people or whatever. But then could it potentially get to a point where like like in China they have this all the CCTV, it's monitoring everyone's behavior. They get like a social credit score, and based on like you're always like crossing, jaywalking and not crossing the road at the
Oh,
crossings.
it makes me feel really claustrophobic.
That
I
does
can't
me.
breathe.
And then basically, if your
Oh.
score is too low, then let's say I came for a job interview and you went, oh, well, CV looks good. I presume ChatGPT wrote it, yeah. But your social score, it's 42%. You've been jaywalking. You've been not putting your rubbish in a bin. I don't think you're going to be a good fit here. We only hire people that have a 56 score or above. So there's risks there. That's all I'm saying.
It's proper Orwellian, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah. Is that where we're going?
That's a Black Mirror episode, isn't it? Have you seen Black Mirror?
It literally isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's based on that concept from China.
Which is mad, because then that's almost turning us into robots.
Well, basically, yeah, because we have to basically play like a character, you know. But do we anyway at work?
Yeah. To a
Not
certain
necessarily. I don't.
What do you reckon Maslow thinks?
We'll have to ask him. Ask
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Let's get him on next time.
Ask him what he thinks.
Maslow.
Yeah.
I think
Not
he's
sure
dead.
alive.
But
Is he?
we'll do our best.
Yeah.
We'll get ChatGPT to.
Well, where's he buried in Russia?
Good. Right. Should we call it a day?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop it.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Charlotte, Sally, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Will you come again?
Yeah, I'm going to be really worried now about every CV that I read. So, yeah, we'll come
Pretty
again.
right. Maybe you can ask ChatGPT to read it and say to it, "Did you write this?"
Just get lost down the rabbit hole.
It might,
Do.
yeah. Just keep it simple.
Down the
innit?
GPT rabbit hole.
Yeah.
No one
Cool.
reads CVs anyway, do they?
Did you read mine?
No, probably not.
Didn't submit one.
You interviewed
There you go.
us.
It was
Basically,
a video
yeah.
CV, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah,
Different. I like it.
yeah. Cue the podcast theme tune.